Empty roads and twilight dark. Shadows whisper, feel the spark. Lonely paths the woods can hide. Ghosts of memories side by side. Moonlight breaking through the trees. Whispering winds, a gentle breeze. Silent echoes from the past. Footsteps fade, but echoes last. Moonlight breaking through the trees. Whispering winds, a gentle breeze. Silent echoes from the past. Footsteps fade, but echoes last. Ghosts of the backwoods calling now. Lost in the night, they twist and shout. Echoes of time never fade away. In the backwoods they will stay. Ancient songs from voices old. Stories of hearts that once were bold. Deep in the forest, secrets lie. Hidden tears that never dry. Flickering lights in shadows roam. Backwoods whispers lead me home. Silent specters dance and play, guiding through the nights of day. Moonlight breaking through the trees. Whispering winds, a gentle breeze. Silent echoes from the past. Footsteps fade, but echoes last. Ghosts of the backwoods calling now. Lost in the night, they twist and shout. Echoes of time never fade away. In the backwoods they will stay.
Alright, let's get the tunes going. 70 nickels. Help if I'm on the right. Right. Oops. too. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not a bad one for a 76. I think we hang on to it.
waiting for a spot on an angled line. Drive to the outside, waste my time. Took my place high on the rise. Look at them ants push away their prize. But I'd be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot. I'm proud to be just who I am. Salute the flag just like Uncle Sam. My Yankee do good without a dime. Work for nothing in their overtime. But I'd be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot. Payroll deductions for a 1K. Matching contributions that they never gonna pay. Helping out the needy, helping out the poor. They're working for nothing at that patriotic store. But I'll be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot. Mega deal, sell a whole lot more. Can I check your bag as you're walking out the door? There's more to plastic than a debit card. A damn good casket when the times get hard. But I'll be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot. Jobs are scarce, they're hard to find. The kind of job that gives you peace of mind. Mom is gone and Pop's for sure. They went down the road to CEO. I got a plan that won't bring me down. I'm gonna burn that big store down. Then I'll be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot. Jobs are scarce, they're hard to find. I'm talking about a job that gives you peace of mind. I got a plan that won't bring me down. I'm gonna burn that big store down, and I'll be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot. I'll be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot. I'll be free as a bird in a Walmart parking lot.
Alright, I don't know if there's anybody here. Before we get into the 90s. So if there's anybody here, upstairs quick before I go to the 90s here. worse shape than the 80s and the 70s. Kind of a cool toner. Jeez, it's almost still got steps. It's kind of cool.
Driving rain, found John's out hitting on the liquor again. It wasn't too late, about 10:30 when he let loose what the cat dragged in. It was a Sunday. And that morning came in morning when he tried to make me pay the rent. Said I ain't got no money for you, can I pay my way with these dancing shoes? Thought I was kidding. Brother, what you owe me can't count on anymore till the police come and knocking on our door. We'll be burning down the house, tear it to the ground, burn it up, tear it down, burning down the house. Well, I spent some time in a backwoods town, ain't nothing to do 'cause there nothing around. Deputy sheriff ran around the block, but the streets are empty and the doors are locked. Got pretty lonely. There, King rang my bell, told me a little about heaven and a lot about hell. Said I ain't got no money for you, can I pay my way with these dancing shoes? Thought I was kidding. I was not kidding. Father, what you owe me I can't count on anymore till the angels come and knocking on our door. We'll be burning down the house, tear it to the ground, burn it up, tear it down, burning down the house.
Well, it certainly isn't perfect, but it's not bad for a 99.
The world outside is mad and cold. You don't grow up, you just grow old.
Build some steps. We'll hang on to it.
So they say,
99.
but God Almighty, till that day, we'll be burning
I don't know how good it is, but bad 96.
was born up in the mountain, raised by an old grizzly bear. I was born up in the mountain, raised by an old grizzly bear. I was fed by
Rough shape there.
nature, and I breathe fresh, clean, natural air. I rose up with the sunlight and the moon, she called me to sleep. I rose up with the sunlight and the moon, she called me to sleep. My dreams came by to guide me, but they were not mine to hold or to keep. By the time I was 3, I done had me my first kill. By the time I was 3, I done had me my first kill. I learned that for surviving, some blood surely had to be spilled. By the time I was 10, I was left out in the forest all alone.
Terrible.
By the time I was 10, I was left out in the forest all alone. Well, Master Death came by to see me, but I told him I wasn't ready to go. No. You can take your skull-bone face and leave on out this place. I ain't gonna go. Hell no. I'm gonna live. Go back to the river Styx. I ain't gonna go. It ain't my time to die, no. Leave me alone.
Terrible. Alright. Last job next. Here's a good dye chip. Raz Bob. How do you say it? Raz Bobble? I am up in northern Minnesota. Yeah, Raz Bobble. How you doing? Northern Minnesota. Welcome in. Usually pretty laid back here. Yeah, probably 2.5 hours. Still, right down essentially on the tip of Lake Superior, essentially on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota. So probably 2.5 hours, give or take, to Canada, and essentially 2.5 hours to 3 hours to Minneapolis. So, you know, actually, they haven't. I don't think they've been that bad. We've been out at the hunting cabin and the hunting land the last couple weekends, and they really have not been that bad. At least not to the point where I couldn't be out like building the deck and stuff like that. Some of the other videos that I'll do on the channel are me tinkering around the property and the cabin and stuff, and they really, I have been able to tolerate them. But I remember we probably built the cabin 3 years ago, and I remember building it in mosquitoes to the point where you couldn't hear yourself think because they were so loud, buzzing in your ear. And then, the other thing that really has been really pretty good is the wood ticks. I haven't really had wood ticks much at all this year. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they're that big. It's just when we get a year of mosquitoes, it's the swarms, and it will be bad. Like I said, there'll be certain years where they'll be so bad, in the evening or something like that you can't hear yourself think, just because there's so many swarming around and stuff. But the other thing that, about our mosquitoes is if you're really not around water, it can be kind of decent and it can be not too bad. But if you're like around one of those back in the woods type ponds or something like that, yeah, they can carry you away. Where are you from? Tucson, Arizona. How's the heat for you? You say that and I just think of heat. Although we've had a warm summer here too. I mean, we've had 90s, and high humidity days, so but everybody I hear talk about like out west like that, they talk about like a dry. But you get over 100, don't you? Like consistent. Unless I'm mistaken. Couple more nickels, and then I think I'm going to try to move to quarters tonight. Maybe get a couple quarters stuff. Just 100 or so today. Yeah, see, that's crazy. So, like, what's a cold winter temperature for you? Let's say like February, like the height of. Like a coldest winter February day for you, I guess, on average. I must say, I think I would prefer to live where I am though. High in the 50s. Yeah, see, I'd love to be in the 50s in winter would be good. We get natives get bundled up. We get like the end of January and February can typically be our coldest month, and we'll have like raw temperatures in when we hit that stretch of really cold, we'll get 20, 30 below raw temperature. And then if you add the wind to it, we'll often get where it feels like 45 below. That I can do without. But we're turning right now, going into essentially fall. My favorite time of year here in Minnesota and Wisconsin is the fall, November or late August, September, all of October, and really most of November. Because our deer season runs the week of Thanksgiving, and we can still have, on a warm year, we can still have mid 40s in that week, at the end of November. So sometimes if we get those years, it makes it feel like winter's a little bit shorter for us. But we're just going into the time now where it's my favorite time of year here. I'm gonna be doing a lot of grouse hunting on the channel and stuff out at the property, and probably be some grouse hunting videos. That looked a little bit doubled to me, but I don't think it's strike doubling. Yeah, see, you say, your natives bundle up. At 50, we'll have 50-degree weather, and that's where our natives up here, are people that live around here, 50 degrees after going through, January and February. You hit a couple of those March days that get into the 50s, and people are out in their t-shirts and shorts, Yep, that's what I was just saying. It hits you. We get 40 or something like that. People are in t-shirts up here. What school did she go to in Wisconsin? She go to the main U there in Madison? Beloit? Oh, okay. I mean, pretty much the weather across Wisconsin's all the same. The one thing that is different, that I will say is where you really notice a difference in the weather within the state, and it's the same from where I'm at down to Minneapolis and St. Paul, is they'll typically get a little bit earlier spring start kicking in. So all these coins that I'm kind of just going through on the scope now, they've all come out of like opening up coin rolls from the bank. So I've already kind of taken out all the dates, like the old ones, the 1950s, the 1940s and stuff. And these are essentially all the ones that are like from the 70s to the 2000s and 20s. And I've typically looked at everything on the ones that I pull out of a roll, because I'll do like roll hunts on the channel too, and I'll pull those older ones and we'll scope those, you know, at the time I pull them. But then I got all these ones to kind of go through, and some things, so like this is a die chip. Oh, Beloit College. So like that's a die chip right there. It's not supposed to be there. It's like it's like an extra amount of metal. And what a die chip is like when the coins are struck, they're struck with like dies that actually imprints the design on them. And if there's a flaw in the actual die, that's, you know, essentially, I don't want to explain it. Foliage works its way down, yeah. If there's a chip in the die, essentially what you get is you get a chip on the coin, and that's what's called the mint error. So a lot of us collectors will look for die chips like that. But then the other thing that we're really looking for, which are the bigger finds in the hobby, is doubling on these letters, where it's like it was like almost like it was double struck. It's called double dyeing, where the dye kind of creates a, I don't want to say die cracks and doubling. Yeah, so you know, you've heard of the terms and stuff before, so I'm explaining something to you that you've probably heard of. But true doubling is what everybody kind of looks for, you know. And then there's books that will like show you kind of what you're looking for in some of the doubling and stuff. Another big thing is like the mint marks. You know, some of the mint marks will be like repunched or something like that. And there's all kinds of stuff in coins that, you know, us collectors kind of look for and stuff. Yeah, here in this U, that's a die chip. I'm on the wrong screen. That would be a die chip. So there was some flaw in the die when this coin was made. So essentially I set this aside. This wasn't an old one. This was what? 2010. So that'll just go in my die chip collection. But the big find is that doubling in letters. Oh yeah, Coin Geek, he's huge on YouTube. And there's like different kinds of doubling. So like this isn't truly it, but it kind of gives it as an example. See where there's looks like that E was doubled a little bit there. And then even on the top of the M here. But there's two kinds of doubling. I don't know if you've heard the Coin Geek talk about true double dies and then what's called machine doubling or strike doubling. And that's where it's like the die it like shifted when it struck the coin. And it makes like a ledge. It looks like a double die, a true double die to somebody that doesn't know what they're looking for. a true double die, one thing that we look for is for like these serifs, these ends of the lettering to actually have a notch, if that makes sense. Because if there's a notch, then it wasn't just strike doubling that where the die just kind of made like a slice in the letter. It's super hard to explain. There's some of the guys on YouTube got really good explanational videos on it. Oh, you're local to him. Oh, he is in Tucson, isn't he? I think I remember watching something where he was talking about where he was. Yeah, he seems like a good guy. I think he was talking about his employees or something like that in one video I was watching. So, are you into collecting coins then? See, I get a kick out of like just toe deep into it. Okay. I have fun doing like the coin roll hunts, you know, where I take 4 rolls of nickels and another 4 rolls of quarters and doing the hunts of the rolls and seeing what you can find. And I do that on a lot of these lives. It's just tonight I ended up, because what I'll do is I'll do a hunt like that, you know, and I'll open them and then you can kind of see them. But then I'll separate them out into jars. Like that's got 90s. There's where my 2000s to 2009s would go and stuff. And then at some point I take those jars and I do what I'm doing tonight, where I just try to get them empty. Yeah, he's excellent with the old ladies. So I'll just try to get them emptied, you know, so then I can do more coin roll hunts and put coins back into them. But it just takes time to, because I am one of the guys that will scope. I call it scope. But I will scope all my coins, whether there's like a documented error out there or not. Just because a lot of times you'll just find something that's, like I said, a random die chip or something, or a die crack or something. You know, and then I collect. If I don't find some reason to keep the coin, whether it's like a really good condition coin, or there's a mint error on it, or a die chip, or something. If there's no reason for me to keep the coin, I'll put them all back. You know, I'll re-roll them in the rolls that I have, and then they'll go back to the bank, and I'll essentially just turn them in for a new set of rolls to hunt again. World Bullion. 1837 cap bus $50. That's nice. I like silver too. I'm a silver collector a little bit. But the bullion, you know, or the round has to be something that I'm interested in design wise. Just because I want to like it enough to justify the premium. Because a lot of times there's premium on any of those silver rounds or bullion and stuff like that. I'm a big Old West and Civil War fan when it comes to the collecting of the coins and stuff like that. I've got a couple different screens here where it's like, here's like where I'll list some of the ones that have Civil War ties date wise and stuff. And then I have a Old West coin chase, you know, where I'm trying to get all the different denominations of essentially these three guys, the years, you know, so like Wyatt Earp's 1848 is his birth year. He died in 29. No, I'm not good with the VAMs at all and the variations and stuff. If I think I got something, I got to go to the website every time. You know, I mean, I even go to the Vista website to just kind of like cross-reference some what I think maybe is a error of some sort. I like to use that Vista site. Like, I know I got a video on it, but I'll grab it quick. So like I said, I'm a big Civil War, Old West era fan of things. Obviously, you know, even the gun stuff that ends up on the channel and stuff. But like, here's a 5-ounce round that is essentially Ulysses S. Grant. You know, so it's stuff like this. It's like, I didn't even think twice about the premium on this because I'm like, I just want that. So like, if you watch any of what I do on my channel, you're gonna constantly see me collecting Ulysses S. Grant stuff, Civil War, the 1861 to 64 time frame stuff, and then the 1880 to the late 90s and stuff. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But I have heard that too. That's something I gotta like research a little bit more. But yeah, if you hang around my channel at all, whether it's lives or anything that I, post as videos and stuff, it's going to be a lot of that era stuff, just because that's kind of where I'm a fan of and stuff, I mean, cap and balls and, the older firearms and stuff like that. So my channel's, I've said it all the time, my channel is all over the place. I definitely do not do the old YouTube niche down into one thing to grow the channel. I kind of do what I want to do, and people that subscribe, and people that don't like it, which I'm fine with. But like this here, like doing a live like that, I mean, I've been on for a couple hours. I'm just going to hit 2 hours. But like sitting here and going through coins, and having one person in the room that I'm just BSing with is, to me, fun. Am I blowing the channel up? No, not at all. But I'm not really doing YouTube to, become a full-time content creator. No, they're on my list. And the problem is my list is so long, But yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. I forget what year they are. But there's a couple of them. I think one of the probably my next commemorative buys. I really want Stone Mountain, but that one can get spendy in in the higher grade conditions and stuff. I like the design of the Stone Mountain commemorative coin. Well, I guess there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm a big fan of like different things too. It's like I like to collect proofs, but I'm not a big Ike Dollar fan. I'm not a big Kennedy half fan. You won't see a lot of Kennedy halves on the channel. You won't see a lot of Ike Dollars on the channel. I'm a small dollar fan. I like collecting the small dollars. The presidential run starting in that 07. So I like doing dollar coin roll searches. And obviously my biggest chase is Ulysses S. Grant. But any of the presidents, on either side of them too are cool because they're all in that time frame and stuff. I kind of wish the Grant was 1 year later in the series, because if he would have been a 2012, he would have been an IFC. You have a Stone Mountain? Yeah, see, that's like I said, I think I want Stone Mountain. And like I said, I don't need a major high grade in it, but you don't want one that's real low either. I'm going to settle for somewhere in the middle. I'm guessing I'm going to pay $100 or over $100 for it when I find one I want. And if I'm not mistaken, you might even know this. If I'm not mistaken, was it the 2015 commemorative that was the U.S. Marshals? I want that one. Definitely want that one. That one and Stone Mountain are probably my two next, like, either Whatnot or eBay commemorative buys. But it's like I gotta find the one I want. I got the U.S. Marshal one like favorited on a lot of different eBay listings. Yep, and there's that one, and there's the funny thing about like a lot of the Grant coins. I think they just did them dirty on some of those coins. I want to say the Mint did one a while back that I'm like, boy, they sure didn't make them, like look good. And the reason I like this 5 ounce round is, they did them in his hat and stuff like that. And I'm a big hat guy. I mean, I wear, this is my everyday go everywhere hat. I'm a big hat guy. In fact, I got a hat unboxing coming sometime this week, because I ordered a new one, because this one is definitely getting to the point where it's getting close to being retired. it's like anything where they put Grant in his hat on and stuff is I'm always a fan of. Yeah, seeing I'm kicking around in my mind. I'm like, do I like for the Stone Mountain? Do I want one slab, or would I rather have it as a raw coin? I would say I'm not either way real like for or against slabs. There is something about it that I like where you can have the coin in your hand or in a capsule that you put it in or something like that, or even a flip. It just sometimes seems to me like you get a slab and it's like, yeah, the coin's in there and stuff, but it's you can't get it in your hand, But don't take me wrong, I'm not against slabs and I'm not against grading coins and stuff. I'm not one of those guys that is against it. Nice beaver felt. Yeah, it's actually what I got ordered. Like I said, it probably is going to be here. I'm guessing maybe tomorrow. But it's a Stetson. I've wore this same hat. I think I've gotten 3 of them. This isn't a Stetson. This is actually an Italian fedora. Because of the bigger hat band on it and stuff. And the bow. But this Stetson's a little more crossing over to the western side, but it's still a teardrop top. Raw, maybe VS. Oh, you think it might have been cleaned? But when I get that hat delivered, I'll do a 5-minute unboxing at some point and it'll be on the channel. And then it'll probably end up being my fall wearing hat. So you're into coins then? I mean, you knew what I was talking about when I said Stone Mountain, and so correct me if I'm wrong, the way it sounds like is you're more into, like you said earlier, the bullion and the commemoratives and stuff, and not so much the numismatics and like the government coin. A lot of times you get something, that's a whole lot better than VF, and you're paying through the nose for it. Especially some of those commemoratives and stuff. Of course, you would hope the commemoratives, because they shouldn't have a lot of circulation on them. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm great at it either. I'm probably just like you. I mean, if it's obvious, you're like, oh yeah, somebody dipped it or cleaned it or whatever. All right, I'm going to get through some of my quarters tonight. What time is it? Oh, it's only 11:30. Type 1S. I would say that quarter is like my probably my fourth favorite coin as far as collecting goes. I would put the small dollars first, and I'm a fan of Susan B. Anthony. I mean, I know it's a hated coin for the most part, but I think it has that older antique feel to it, with her head on the front and stuff. So I think coins in my list of favorites would probably go the small dollars, and then probably nickels, and then pennies or cents, and then quarters. So what is that? Quarters are probably fourth in my line of what I like to. Rest is mostly a typeset of American. And I absolutely despise dimes. I mean, I have a handful of dimes, but as far as I never coin roll hunt them. I do not buy, and make any purchases of Mercury dimes or, proof dimes, even though I'm a fan of proofs. I mean, I'm a fan of proofs of those coins I like. I think it's because they're just so small, and half the time they're hard to look at unless you actually scope them. So next week, eh? Well, and I've probably only really been into coins and bullions and all this stuff, maybe 2 years or so. And essentially how I got kind of into it was I completely forgot that my grandfather left me and essentially my kids his collection, and it was sitting in the safe in the next room. And I don't know what brought it on, but I started looking at quarters, I think, like that, or, like the state quarters and the national park quarters and stuff. And I one day I said to the wife, I'm like, I'm going to go to the bank and I'm going to get some rolls because I want to start roll hunting. And she's like, well, why don't you start with the hundreds of dollars that are in the safe that your grandfather left you? And I completely forgot about it. So I probably spent 6 months going through just coins he left and stuff. And he left Morgans, he left Walking Liberties. He left a bunch of silver because he knew his stuff too, so I've got a ton of Indian heads. I probably got some Indian head pennies to still go through and see what's there. And he was a big one for getting uncirculated tubes of stuff and then just saving them. So it's I probably have 100 of each of the 2009 Lincoln penny that were just in rolls, uncirculated. So he just kind of put different things away and stuff. And so it's kind of like I had a built-in collection and I didn't even realize it for the most part until I started going through it and stuff. There's a couple videos on the channel a ways back where I was just grabbing something out of the safe and doing essentially a go through of it on a live like this. And then a lot of my videos, unless it's one of them that I'm out at the shack or out at the hunting cabin on the property, or unless it's a gun thing, a lot of the coin videos are essentially just cutouts of me sitting around and doing a live like this. Like, I got some whatnot coins coming in probably later this week that I'll do the mail day unboxing or whatever you want to do, you know, in a live on a night like this. But then what I'll do is I'll just section it out of that live and turn it into the 5-minute video on the channel. Yep, I'm a big, like I said, you now know I'm a President's Dollar fan, a Susan B. Anthony. Probably not a huge Sacagawea fan, you know, but when you get the roll of dollars to hunt from the bank, you know, percentage of them are going to be Sacagaweas in there with those presidential dollars. Yeah, the 2009 is where that Lincoln series is. I'm going to send a couple of those in to be graded just to see if you can't, you know, hit lightning in a bottle and end up with a 69 or 70 on one of them. I've essentially already started culling them a little bit. And I've got, you know, I got a couple piles of each one that over time I'll just, you know, like, I'm just looking at one now. There's probably a dozen of them on my desk back here. You know, so just over time, I'll send those dozen in. I won't do them all at once, but just slowly and see what each one ends up coming back at. It'll be like a multi-year process, probably. And then I have some older stuff I'm gonna send in and get graded and stuff. Then knock my camera off. Talk too much with my hands and end up knocking things around. Well, I can't for sure tell you how the algorithm works because I guess I don't pay a whole lot of attention, you know, because like I said, I'm not really a big, I got to grow my channel. I'm going to jump on, go live, and who shows up. Hey, there's a couple guys that I hang with quite a bit, you know, because I'll jump in my channel and then I'll jump in their channel and stuff like that. So to me, that whole, I guess, you know, I say I'm not into building the channel really, and it's not a focus of mine, but in a sense, it's kind of cool to build that community where you're always kind of hanging with the same guys. Here's the downside to looking at, you know, older coins that have a lot of circulation wear. You're never going to really find much on them because everything is already so worn. Even if there was a double die or something, you know, it's gone. You know, that's like what I was saying earlier too, you know, it's like I'm not running my channel in the proper way to like truly grow. You know, because I don't niche down. I got the revolver stuff on the channel. I got the outdoor stuff out at the cabin and in our hunting property and stuff. What else is on the channel? Coins. You know, so it's like I got 3 different things going on the channel. So not a conducive way of keeping subscribers. Ooh, that mint mark is gone. But I do like to do, like I said, this. Pop on, maybe spend, well, I'm over 2 hours now, you know, because I burnt through my nickel scoping and stuff. And if one person ends up in these nighttime streams, it's always like this. It's always pretty slow, you know. I'll have a couple people filter through or something, you know, and there'll be a couple that'll hang out and chit chat while I do this and stuff. And yeah, definitely circulated. But like on the weekends, I'll do like a coin roll hunt on like Friday morning or Saturday morning or mid morning or something. You know, I'll grab a cup of coffee and do a 2-hour coin roll hunt or something. I don't hunt boxes like you watch a lot of people on YouTube do. I don't just go through a whole box to make a video out of it. I'm more, like I said, I'm grabbing 4 nickel rolls, maybe another 4 quarter rolls, and maybe $8 roll or $2 rolls, and I hunt that for a live stream for 2 hours or something. And then if there's any like major hits out of it, like I said, I'll cut it out of the live and post like a hits video or something. But I'm not taking a box like you see a lot of people do on YouTube and say, "Hey, I'm coin roll hunting this box," and you know they have a 20-minute video out of it. It's not really the way I do it. Now, would it probably be better for the channel and subscribers and stuff like that? Yeah, probably, but I don't worry about it that much. Really not even checking my book as to what I should be looking for on these quarters. I don't know if there's anything real quarter-wise in the 70s anyways. I know there's a couple things, but so I will show you, because I'm gonna probably call the scoping night a night. I'll show you my book. I don't know if you'll be able to read this. Okay, so this is what I'll do with my mint dares essentially. Is I'll just flip them and then just go into this book as I find them. Like this is probably my coolest one right now. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Kennedy halves, but I had a ton of them left from my grandfather. So I'll flip them. I'll write what the year is on it, basically the year and stuff, and I'll write on the flip the mintage of everyone. Let's see if I can get that out of here. And I just collect them, you know. I mean, I have not a YouTube. I have a Whatnot account that I'll jump on occasionally and stuff. I don't sell a lot, but I'll occasionally jump on my Whatnot account and spend an hour on there just seeing if anybody wants anything for $2 or something like that. Yeah, this will show through the... I wasn't sure if this was going to show through the flip or not, but there's no doubt that is the repunched mint mark. And when it comes to errors, me personally, I want it like that. I don't want to have to like convince myself that it was the error on a real circulated, damaged coin. I want to look at the error and be like, no, that's definitely it. I mean, you can't always be that confident, but if I can't at least be 75 to 80% confident that I'm looking at the documented error for the coin, I just say it ain't there. You know, because I watch a lot of people, you know, say, oh, this is the DDO or something like that. And it's like, it might be, but there's so much damage there, you know, or so much circulation wear that it's like, it's 50-50. You know, I want something that looks like that. Now I have some that I'm like, well, you know, it's maybe a little bit better than 50-50, but let's see, where is the like, you know, and this isn't a documented one or anything, but and this probably isn't going to show up through this. I might not be able to get this to show through the flip, but like the I in Monticello there, the flip doesn't really want to show it, but everything else is nice and struck for the most part. And that eye is about gone, you know, so there was grease or something on the die that didn't allow that eye to strike. I think it's something you just kind of get better at over time, especially the double dies. You know, because it's such a skill to, you know, like look at something and be able to say, you know what, it's not a double die, it's that strike doubling, or that it's that machine doubling. I think it takes a while to get to the point of like, I mean, I hit coins all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's, you know, it's got heavy doubling or something, but then you're like, it's strike doubling, it's not a true double die. I just had one somewhere here. I just gotta find it. Oh, there's two of them. So that In God We Rust on the quarters on the 2005 Philly. You know, so I'll just, I mean, it's just fun finding them and like searching for them. So I got that one. And then I think the next day or something, I found this one, you know, which is, you know, the G and the O in God is even really grease struck. And these two quarters, actually, these came out of the quarters that my grandfather left us and saved for essentially my kids and stuff. So, but I've just started kind of going through that whole collection and stuff. No full steps. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find nickels now that have the full steps if they're not fairly new nickel. I think I just re-flipped something that was really cool. I just have to read it. Find it here. So I saved like this, which isn't a as far as I've found, not like a documented thing or anything, because I'm pretty sure this is just late stage dye deterioration. The flip kind of makes it very hard to, but it's like all those letters have just very deteriorated. I think it was just like I said, it was a real old dye. Like everything is just kind of, I don't even know what you want to call it, but so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I think I just put on the flip late stage dye deterioration. So it's just goofy stuff like that I look for when I'm scoping stuff that doesn't have a documented error on it and stuff. So yeah, see, and I thought, well, you know, that's really, to me that isn't like just circulation wear because of the fact that it's on both sides of most of the letters and stuff. So I am assuming that is something that, you know, the die itself is worn. Yeah, not the coin itself. The die was worn when that coin was struck. So I have that book of, you know, that I keep of my errors, and then like this is my book of coins that have been found in a coin roll hunt, you know, and then I just date it, like, you know, that was a coin roll hunt from May 3rd, and it was a 1940 nickel. Exactly, keeps me out of trouble. You are right. And the cool thing about like coin collecting, like versus my other hobbies, which is just as much of a hobby as the coins are for me, is you really never lose any money in the coin, you know, in coin collecting, like in coin roll hunting and stuff like that. I mean, you can lose money because you start grading coins and stuff like that. But, you know, if you're coin roll hunting and then essentially turning 95 to 99% of the coins that you hunt back in for other coins, then, you know, it's a hobby that is pretty affordable to be in. This lady, I don't think she is an actual character from anything. It was just a mat that I was like, yep, I gotta get that mat. She's just some kind of pirate design with revolvers. I'm like, yeah, that's right up my alley. So this is the mat you will typically see on most of the coin. This is my other thing that I collect, actually, is like mats. These are like, they're probably more considered like card game mats, like Magic and whatever you would play for card games. But this is the other thing that I will collect. I mean, I'll be like, oh, I want that mat. But this one, yeah, not any particular character from anything I'm familiar with. It could be a game character from something, and I just don't know. Coins and pirates do go together. You are correct on that, my friend. You are correct on that. So do you have all the books too then? I mean, you got the red book, and you got any of the cherry pickers guides? Unless you're looking for errors, you probably, aren't going to need the cherry pickers guide. But it's like if you're big into the error hunting, then like this book is one of the mainstays, because it essentially lists, and I love this book. Well, the cherry picker's guide is good too, but you get pictures for what you're supposed to be looking at for, the documented stuff. I'm guessing you got a red book, at least at some extent, one of the editions. But then the cherry picker's guide, is my other go-to. Depending on what coin you're looking at, depends on which volume you got to be in. Numista. I've heard of the site. I don't know if I've ever really messed around on Numista. I've never been on Numista. So, is this going to be more of the world stuff that you were talking about? Not so much US stuff? Oh, I don't think that's wrong at all. I mean, that's how I collect. There's probably more things I could collect that maybe are financially better buys. But I don't really look at it, I'm not doing any of this from like a flipping thing or, will I sell some coins at some point? Yeah, at some point I'll run, world and domestic. At some point I will get on Whatnot and hang out and see if somebody wants, but it's just because I gotta get rid of something. I can't keep everything. But I'm not doing all this coin roll hunting and searching and stuff to like build up an inventory to sell and essentially turn a profit and stuff like that. It's not my focus. Which is probably why I, on YouTube use the name collector, because I'm much more of a collector than I am a flipper or a reseller. So how do you search something? So there's catalog. See, and I was just telling somebody that the other day. I was in a Whatnot stream buying, and there was somebody new to the hobby. Granted, I consider myself still new to somebody that's 60 or 70 years old and been in it their entire life. Because I've got, what did I say, 2 maybe 3 years of dabbling in it, but there was somebody that was really new and they're like, well, I don't know what to buy and I don't know, what I should collect. And I told them, just pick something you're interested in, pick whatever your favorite type of coin is, whether it's a nickel or a quarter and stuff, and then concentrate on that and you'll enjoy collecting through that particular coin type. Which is kind of what I do, and kind of what I ended up doing is, I was essentially gifted and inherited my grandfather's collection of just a ton of different stuff across the board. But then when I started to develop, like, where's my interest in coins? It was really like, the 1880s, because of my interest in Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday and Billy the Kid, and then it hit me. I'm like, that's where my collecting focus is going to be, and then my interest in the Civil War, 1860s. I'm like, so those are going to be the coins that are cool to me and kind of going to be my collection avenue, to where I don't so much care about stuff that's out of that range, other than the fact that I like to coin roll hunt and I end up with a bunch of coins that I then have to go through anyways. But like, truly, like, my focused purchases and stuff, when I want to spend money on something, it's going to be in that area. Morgans, the 1880 Morgans and stuff, because they fall into the, that Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp area and stuff. I don't know. Sometimes that it makes sense to me, but probably explaining it to somebody, especially somebody that's like got an interest in coins across the board from old to modern, probably looks at me kind of funny. Well, what time is it? Midnight on the nose, and I've been going for about 2 hours and 40 some minutes. So I think I'm going to call it a night. Got through my nickels anyway, so I'll be able to get rid of some nickels here Friday. Grab a couple new rolls and be able to start refilling up the decade jars. Yeah, well, my gun background comes from the fact that I basically lived my whole life in competitive shooting, so the gun thing is just kind of something that I don't ever remember not being into. Now, I wasn't always into the older style cap and ball revolvers and stuff like that. I mean, I grew up in modern competitive shooting, long range rifle stuff, so but I've always been in the firearms area to some extent. I mean, I even worked for firearm companies and stuff for on and off. Yeah, no, it was more than cool that you hung out tonight while I finished up those nickels. You're welcome to stop in anytime you want, Raz. I'm just going to call you Raz. It's easier. Like I said, this is part of what I enjoy doing on YouTube, is a live like this and then just having a BS session. But I am going to call it a night, just so I don't go too long tonight. Because I'm definitely getting to the point where the late nights aren't as easy as they were 20 years ago. So I am gonna go ahead and run the outro that I always run anyways, regardless of just to put a cap on the stream. Same to you, my man. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. It was fun talking. Maybe we'll see you again at some point. Have a good one. Take care and be well.